Donna Andrew.
In the know for Friday, January 21, the 21st day of 2022. There are 344 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 1039 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Big weekend in sports, and it's going to be cold. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Are you all fired up for season 4 of Ozark?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know if it's one of those where the entire season is out at once, or are we going to have to do it in portions?
I'm
Have
not
you
sure.
figured that out yet?
I've not read.
So the last time that a season of Ozark came out was back in the olden days when you and I didn't have internet.
Correct.
So we didn't watch it together.
Right.
So I got caught up at a different time than you did. So what do you say? Are we gonna Ozark together, or are we gonna Ozark independently, or what are you thinking?
Do you want to?
No, sure. Let's. How about it's a date? You want to make
All
a date of it?
Sure.
Sounds good to me. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Moscow, Paris, Beijing, and even Whitesville. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good.
You going to Davis County tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll pass the Black Cat if you need anything.
No, I'm good. I mean some firecrackers. Do they?
Okay.
I like the Black Cat firecrackers.
Uh-huh.
Do they sell those there?
I've never been in. You are the only one that has been in. I've just heard
not
the lore.
been in. No, I'm not the one who's been in.
Oh.
No, I was not allowed.
Oh.
Ooh.
I've heard the lore, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm tempted.
I always really rubbernecked when I went by there. Like, hey, what's going on in there?
Huh.
I was told I was not allowed inside there. So
Okay.
I've never
We'll pass
been.
by there tonight.
I have bought my fair share of Black Cat firecrackers
Oh, yeah,
from
100%.
Sad Sam's. You know, that was my go-to place of getting Sad Sam's fireworks down in Tennessee. But nonetheless, I did learn also today. I'm kind of saddened. NBC has decided to not send any of their announcers to Beijing for the Olympics.
I saw that yesterday.
So,
Because I was reading that Mike Tirico, and I don't know if you saw what he was going to do, is that since NBC also has the Super Bowl, he was going to go to Beijing, host some of the events there, then fly to Los Angeles, host the Super Bowl, and then go back to Beijing.
back to Beijing. Wow.
Which was going, I mean, I think that's a lot of travel.
That is a lot of travel.
But now I guess he gets to stay in LA the entire time.
But we know as users, as consumers, we know the challenges of the announcers being off-site. I mean, we notice the difference. I don't know I don't know if the regular common user knows, but it's obvious. It's obvious to me, Sam, when they're not in person. Is it pretty obvious to you?
As someone that has done that before,
Yeah.
it's hard too, because it's amazing. You don't pick up on little things.
Uh-huh. Well,
It's like, the crowd's into it. I can't tell.
Plus, you're limited to the same screen that everyone else is.
Whatever that camera operator shows you is
That's right.
whatever you get.
That's all you got. At least in NBC's case, they've got about 100 different cameras that they might be
Yeah.
able to look at and see. But you're a little more limited.
6 or something.
But I was also there's a sport that used to be part of the Winter Olympics, but it is no longer. Miss Buckles, you might be a bigger fan if they brought this back. It was called ski ballet. And it was basically the same thing as figure skating, but it was on skis.
How do they do that?
Exactly. It's kind of like ballerinas performing somersaults with their ski poles, and so that sounds more entertaining to me than just regular figure skating.
skis are long. So
Yeah.
in order to do like, what's that move called?
Pirouette?
Yeah, or a half
How
cow,
would you do
full
that?
cow. I got to brush up on all my figure skating terminology for next
Johnny
month.
Weir, isn't that his name? He'll be back.
Oh, now you just reminded me. I'm not going to watch figure skating this year. I'm going to watch ski ballet because they'll have maybe somebody else commentating that.
Well, maybe he won't if it's remote.
They do have those trick skis. They have the one where they do the aerials. Their skis are a lot shorter where they go and they flip and somersault and they land. So if you were doing ski ballet, you'd probably use trick skis rather than, the big like cross country skis. That's a lot to try and maneuver. It reminds me
I know
of,
what you're going to say.
yeah, of the Amazing Race this week when they were doing the flags where they were twirling. One of their roadblocks was a flag twirl, and they had to go down and under and around through their
Between their
legs
legs.
and around the other side, and it was challenging for some as much as it would have been challenging for me as well. Better chance, and we're experiencing it now, better chance of sunshine today, but don't expect any warm temperatures because it's going to remain cold today. In fact, we won't even brush up against the freezing mark today. We will top out at a high of 29 this afternoon under sunny sky. We'll see clear skies tonight, and that clear sky is going to allow temperatures to fall down to 15. I think I observed it was about 15 when I woke up this morning. At least the area temperature was listed as that. But clear skies, no chance of precipitation tonight. Clouds increase tomorrow. Hey, 37 tomorrow. I might actually get rid of all the remaining snow and little pockets of ice that are hiding in crevices. And then as you look at the longer term forecast, we'll see just basically winter for the foreseeable future. We're going to see highs at, Monday going to be a little warmer into the 40s, but other than that, just
Luckily, no
pretty
snow in the
much
forecast,
30s.
though.
And again, that Tuesday that they're representing, our friends at Wave are talking about a little bit of like a 3 in 10 chance of snow. I don't think that's for our area. And even if it's so, it's like a very, very small chance, and nothing significant is my feeling. And depending upon when it happens on Wednesday, it could be rain because it
As
will
we
be warm
learned.
enough Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, because I'm sure we would have gotten a lot of snow if it would have been cold enough the other day.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. They just depending upon when they were able to predict the temperature dropping, they were bouncing between a quarter of an inch of rain and a half inch of rain. So think about that's a lot of rain. Like that's double the amount of rain between quarter. See that math problem I did right there? That's double the amount. And so, but when they say, well, only going to get a quarter of an inch of rain, they were reclassifying that to more snow, which they were extrapolating out to be worth a couple of inches.
That math makes me think, what, are you son of an accountant or something like that? That quick math?
Yes, I'm just trying to impress my dad. Is basically, look, hey, Dad, look at my simple math skills that I can do. I mean, multiplying and dividing and adding fractions can prove challenging to some people, but hey, doubling a quarter of an inch into a half an inch, I got that. I didn't even have to ask Alexa to do that for me.
She's good at math.
Yeah, she's pretty good. We talked a little bit yesterday about President Biden's hour and 50-minute news conference 2 days ago, and what that meant was yesterday the Biden administration had to spend all day yesterday clarifying things that he said on Wednesday. It's like, no, what he meant was, but one of the things I didn't hear from the other day was that he almost softened, inadvertently, he kind of softened his stance on what the United States would do if Russia invaded the Ukraine. And he basically allowed for the way he said it, and I don't think this is the way he intended it, the way he said it was, well, if it was only a small invasion, then maybe we might look the other way, which then the world went crazy. Our NATO allies, Ukraine went, wait a minute, what did you just say? That they can invade us a little and it'll be okay? And so the Biden administration had to kind of clarify that yesterday. And what they mean are, they call them gray invasions or gray actions. So just because it's not troops in Russian uniforms crossing a border driving tanks, there are other ways that the Russians can invade Ukraine that wouldn't look like military operations, but could be things that maybe we wouldn't line our tanks up against, et cetera. So it's a confusing issue, and it's going to be interesting to see the way that it plays out. But it did say this was an Associated Press poll that the NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, so Associated Press, an organization that you would hope would be as down the middle as possible, is reporting that only 28% of Americans want Biden to run for re-election in 2024. That's as of today, and less than half of Democrats want him to run in 2024. So if the party that sent you there, if less than half of them are saying 1 year in, we don't want you to do this anymore, it shows you he's got a lot of work to do in the next 12, and it's really going to have to happen in the next 12 months to save the administration, because if he gets beyond the 24-month period, then it's just like everybody has closed the book and said we're ready to move on from all ends of the political spectrum. COVID-19 update. In Grayson County, 268. You heard Josh Horton announce it here for the first time yesterday. 268 new COVID cases were diagnosed over a 2-day period. There are, since last Thursday, about 600 new cases. And the incidence rate yesterday, 250. Wow. Just last Thursday, it was 87. Which we consider to be high. You got to get under 25 to get into the orange.
10 times the orange.
Yeah, we are 10 times where we need to be. There are 606 active cases in Grayson County. That's up 169 since 2 days ago. And so it's compounding, and you're seeing I did predict correctly. The state's incidence rate, positivity rate went over 31 yesterday. It was like 31.7. The Grayson County schools are also releasing some numbers that obviously they're seeing lots of increases in positivity, and then quarantine, which is leading to staffing shortages, which a lot of school systems, that's primarily their problem in Jefferson County, is they don't have staff, bus drivers, they don't have custodial staff, they don't have cafeteria, they don't have teachers, they don't have aides. There are instances where superintendents are teaching classes, and filling in, just trying to keep the wheels on the thing. But as of Wednesday, the Grayson County schools said there were 31 staff members COVID positive, and so there are 615 staff members in the district, and so 31 of them, so maybe not a huge percentage, but you just wipe 31 people out of, right, or divide 31 by the number of buildings, and it has an impact. There were, on Wednesday, there were 392 students in quarantine, and 95 students were positive as of Wednesday. So I think you'll see those numbers tick up a couple more days, maybe a few more days, and then you'll see them turn the other way and come on back down. Congressman Massey has tested positive for COVID-19 again. I was reading some of what he had to say. He's, been critical of the mask and vaccine mandates. He's very, libertarian and Thinks government should play very little role in our lives as Americans. He said on Twitter he would not be voting, meeting, or anyone in person or making public appearances until next week. So he's taking the advice of isolating and keeping himself away. Last week he wrote on social media that his congressional office would not comply with Washington, D.C.'s vaccine mandate for restaurants. He said, we will get our food from Virginia or we will bring it to work. He said, shame has befallen our nation's capital. He kind of took a tongue lashing from President Trump at one point in time. I follow him on Twitter, and he's amusing to me. And he's pretty consistent with his views and with his approaches. Sometimes I think maybe he's overly so, but he does kind of defines a position and then lets you sort of figure out how closely to that position that you want to get. But the thing that he does that amuses me the most is that when he makes a political statement or he's contrary to maybe what the government talking points would be from the Bidens or the CDC or whatever, people will come through from across the country that have no idea who he is. And then they'll call him a crackpot. They'll call him dumb. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know anything about science. And then his response is always to tweet back a picture of his degree, his doctorate at MIT. And so it makes me like, oh, well, okay. So I don't think he's.
Then there's that.
I don't think he's dumb.
The question I do have is it something like him and Rand Paul are kind of similar. They just have the same hair. Is that like a rule?
They have the same barber.
That's kind of what
right.
I always find it interesting that they're very similar and they got kind of the same hair.
Liberty for their hair to sort of.
Do they visit the same guy?
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, they're very cordial and collegial, but yeah,
I just find it funny.
Similar fashion sense. That's okay. He's his Twitter account, by the way, is Sassy with Massey. So if you want to see something entertainment, there's lots of back and forth between people that agree with him and people that don't agree with him. The Kentucky Democratic Party is suing over the Republican state and Congress redistricting maps. Been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. There's nothing I haven't already told you that I can't tell you about that. But we basically got an early look yesterday at what the Democratic Party is claiming is wrong with the map. And so they want Franklin Circuit Court to declare the redistricting legislation creating these new maps invalid and to prevent the May primary election from being conducted based on these Republican-drawn districts. That's the thing that's most curious to me is, like, oh, okay, well, where are we? How long will Franklin Circuit Court, which has always seemingly been at least very Bashir friendly, Judge Shepard and those guys who, former Governor Bevin tangled with Judge Shepard a lot. So, and the suit specifically is targeting the Comer district, that first district where they don't like it because they're coming in there and getting part of Franklin County, which is, I got to say, is a pretty, valid,
it's a head scratcher.
Big valid hypothesis there. And so over a long period of time, the end game may be to try and take the very red voting of extreme Western Kentucky and try and influence the rest of that district. What they would like to do is they'd like to see a guy like Judge Shepard no longer be on the bench in Circuit Court in Franklin County. I don't think this move can impact that, but I don't know.
I was reading somebody say that what needs to happen is you need to get some like nonpartisan mathematicians to sit there and just figure it out, divide it up, and say this is what it is. This is just like this is the fairest way to separate it all, and I know that will never happen. This is the fairest way to separate it population-wise, and this is what you should do.
Yeah.
Because that makes no sense. Fulton to Frankfort makes no sense.
The hardest thing to do, there's a lot of places in life that are kind of like this. Small changes have big impacts over long periods of time. So you get, like in your home, in our home. Our home was once not busting at the seams of stuff that we don't know what to do with, but a decade ago, it wasn't so bad, but then a little gets added all the time. And so this is my point, is the first congressional district first was, well, that's odd shaped. And then through redistricting and migration and just small changes over, it's a 10-year process on the census. Then all of a sudden you was like, oh, well, when we started down this path over here, it was kind of weird, but now it's really bad. And there's no way to get back to the first note. It's hard to call a timeout and say, we're going to scrap this entire thing and start again. It's hard to do in lots of areas. But I don't know how you do it without creative destruction and then rebuilding. But we'll see how fast this might happen and sort some of this out. Governor Beshear announced yesterday updated some of the relief efforts for those who suffered losses due to the outbreak of tornadoes, the floods, the severe thunderstorms that occurred last month. The governor said the state will add 20% on top of FEMA awards in individual assistance for uninsured homeowners and renters impacted by the storms. In case that impacts you or someone the state will throw 20% on top of what FEMA is doing. But to be clear, all of that is still federal dollars because governments, including state government, the state government, county governments across the Commonwealth are struggling with an understanding on how to spend recovery plan proceeds. There's money available to communities and local governments, but there's very little guidance from the federal government and certainly not the state government to say, here's what you can and you can spend these dollars on. And so you've got county governments that are really kind of handcuffed because they say, well, we could spend this, but we don't know if there are repercussions to spending it upon this on down the road. And so at least Kentucky is saying, well, something we can do is just pile on. We can make the pile that FEMA is giving a little bit bigger, and they can't argue with us down the road on that. That would be my guess on what they'll do. Sam, KHSAA Board of Control meeting this week.
They did.
Made some changes to the golf postseason, but the thing that jumped out to me was they at least were discussing the idea of shot clock in high school basketball. Yes, no?
Yes, they were.
Yeah,
they were discussing that.
Okay.
I am not for it, and well, more so, not that I'm not for the idea of it, I'm just thinking that we go to so many places where it's all they can do to get somebody to run the clock.
Yeah.
And usually said person doesn't know the rules of running the clock, and you want to throw you're going to need to get one more person to have to run the shot clock. And volunteers aren't coming out everywhere to get these shot clocks. And you think of, okay, now we're going to have to invest in putting these shot clocks. Where are we going to put them in these gyms?
Yeah.
It's just all of that. And I think that there's a lot more questions there are answers. And I mean, I've watched now here in my 4 years a lot of basketball, and there have only been, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times that I thought, well, shoot, we need a shot clock right now. And I think that they've gone through and done a lot of math and said that it's just really not something that is needed in KHSAA because these teams almost have a built-in shot clock that they play with.
Yeah, not yet. And in my opinion, it would be really hard for the girls' game. The speed and pace of the girls' game.
A lot of these teams struggle to score anyways.
Yeah, that's right. So to put them on a clock is going to be very. I see it happening. I see the conversation they're having this week paving the way for it happening in a few years, but I don't think we're ready for it.
The thing I like that the KHSAA is that they're talking about changing the football playoffs back to the way it was, and I'm hoping that does happen because they overwhelmingly voted in favor of doing it, but the KHSAA still said no about a year ago. Yeah. So hopefully they change.
All right. Sounds good. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart, 270-259-5604, GraysonCPAs.com.
Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center needs your help. The 2022 Community Health Needs Assessment for Grayson County is underway, and we want to know what health needs are most important to you. The more we know, the better we can care for our community. Go to owensborohealth.org/Twin Lakes Survey to participate in this anonymous survey, or stop by the hospital to pick up a copy. Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center. Help us build a healthier Grayson County.
Start your new year with a new career. Nucor Steel Brandenburg is currently accepting a limited number of applications for entry-level production careers at their new steel mill in Meade County, Kentucky. Nucor offers competitive pay and benefits with an average first-year salary of $72,000 per year. No experience in the steel industry or manufacturing is required. Apply now at meadjobs.nucor.com. That's meadjobs.nucor.com. The time is now to start your new career.
Hear that? Is that America cheering or a sausage patty sizzling to perfection? It's time to cheer for Egg McMuffin and fresh cracked eggs at McDonald's. It's time to wake up to the aroma of freshly baked biscuits and treat yourself to a real honest-to-goodness morning meal. Breakfast, it's on at McDonald's. Choose any breakfast sandwich, buy one, get one free. Available only on the app. Price and participation may vary. McD app download and registration required. Single item at regular price.
All Kentucky driver licensing is moving from circuit clerk offices in every county
to regional offices.
And the new regional offices offer more licensing choices than ever before.
Get a driver's license valid for 4 years.
Or 8 years. Get a real ID.
Or a standard license.
Renew online
or in person.
You can even visit any regional office you'd like.
It's next level licensing. Learn more at drive.ky.gov.
Amazon is going to open a real-life clothing store in Southern California later this year. CNBC says the store will feature women's and men's apparel, shoes, and accessories from a mix of well-known and emerging brands, with prices catering to a wide range of shoppers. The report furthers Amazon's physical retail footprint. They opened an actual bookstore in 2015, bought Whole Foods in 2017, and since then launched a number of other formats, including grab-and-go convenience stores. NBC Universal streaming service Peacock is adding free, around-the-clock local news from NBC stations for all users. Facebook and Instagram could be getting into the non-fungible token business. Financial Times says Meta's social media companies will allow users to create new NFTs as well as buy and sell the digital art on a specialized marketplace and display the NFTs as their profile pictures. Tech Report, Larry Olson, NBC.
Tell them step off, I'm doing the hump. The Humpty Dance, here's your chance to do the hump. Everybody, I do the Humpty Hump. Come on, I do the Humpty Hump. Sexy lady, I do the Humpty Hump.
Today is Hugging Day. Especially Sam. Sam loves hugs.
No, thank you.
Sam loves them. So, you see Sam
it's
today.
very rare occasions.
Squirrel Appreciation Day today. Do we need to get a little something for the family of squirrels that's living upstairs? Do we
I hear them.
It's just not a family. It's like generation
it's
up there.
It's a community.
Yeah.
It's One-Liners Day today. Oh, good one-liner. You know, so many good. And don't call me Shirley. You know.
Oh, I thought this was like a one-line joke.
No,
Killing me, Smalls.
Actually. These go to 11 from Spinal Tap. You know, there's a lot creeps in a lot. Turn it up to 11. The Blues Brothers, they're 106 miles to Chicago. We have a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Exactly. There's that one. Pets' heads are coming off. I mean, they're just things that you can walk in and just say in the middle of a crowd, out of context, and everyone immediately knows what you're talking about.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's right. It's Hot Sauce Day tomorrow. So crisscross applesauce, have some hot sauce tomorrow. If you've not tried Sweet Baby Ray's, give it a try. If you don't like it, if you like your other better, then go ahead. You can go back to your original, but it gets my endorsement. By the way, we need some new sriracha.
Clearly.
So, and on Sunday...
Well, clearly you all use it a lot.
it lasts for a while. We have too many hot sauces. That's the problem. Is there have too
it's
we have
something like
we have
that.
too many. Handwriting Day is Sunday and Pi Day is Sunday, not the mathematical equation. That's March 14th. These are the some 231 varieties of pie. I mean, apple, cherry. You can just
Pumpkin.
You can keep on going. Pecan, like all that. So that's what your
Derby.
What's your favorite?
Derby pie.
Oh gosh, I have no idea.
Really?
I don't know. I don't eat a lot of pie.
All right, we can come back to that. If you come up with it, let us know. M&M characters are going to be redesigned for a more dynamic, progressive world. Be careful. Be careful. M&M's 6 different colored lentils, each with their own personality, have gotten a modern makeover for a more dynamic, progressive world. The redesign is focused on creating a sense of belonging and community, as well as spotlighting the characters' personalities rather than their gender. The most notable changes include the green M&M's redesign, which will exchange the white-heeled go-go boots she was given in 1997 for cool, laid-back sneakers to reflect her effortless confidence. The green M&M and the brown M&M will have more friendly relationship, showcasing a force supporting women.
I'm sorry, I never noticed the shoes that were on the green
I
female M&M.
This has no impact on me whatsoever. I didn't have an opinion to begin with, and don't have an opinion now.
Mm-hmm. Why does everything have to be defined? Like,
Right?
why do I don't understand what Mars thinks they. Where were the people? Where were the picketing groups that were lined up outside Mars headquarters saying?
A lot of this too is a move because now you're talking about it.
Yeah. Well, but a lot of this too is when I talk about it in this way, I'm less likely to buy them. See,
Are you though?
I was probably, because there's something in my subconscious that if I go, now
I just don't have that mentality.
Now M&Ms want to be somehow political, or they want to be somehow like the world wasn't good enough the way that it was, so we're going to have to change it. I'm going to be like, well, I'll just have something. I'll just have Reese's.
I like peanut M&Ms too much.
This is my thing. Hello, peeps. M&Ms, stay in your lane. I love M&Ms. The world loves M&Ms. There were no groups that were picketing saying you're teaching people bad things by just having the M&Ms the way they are. So
I go back to the thing. Well, I've said it for years. Leave things alone. Don't re-sing the song. Do not. I mean, leave things alone.
Well, now there are lots of people that are getting by on other people's songs, but M&Ms are unique. You just leave them alone. And so I'll be maybe less likely to. I guess it's a good thing I ate all the M&Ms that were in my stocking for Christmas.
You did?
Well, yeah. Before I found out that they've got to change everything up. Now, this is maybe a similar story about forsaking your true identity. Cheez-It crackers are taking on a new, puffed-up shape. Cheez-Its, one could argue, need no improvement, much like M&Ms. They're crunchy, salty, cheesy, bite-sized. You can eat them by the dozen. But now Cheez-Its has decided to puff up, like put a little air in their Cheez-Its.
This is just a new variety, right? I mean, I can't imagine that you can't get the original.
That's right. I don't think they're replacing.
I mean, I'd try them. I like Cheez-Its.
They're not pulling the Coca-Cola move.
Didn't we learn on Tuesday that Yukon Cornelius doesn't like Cheez-Its?
He does not like Cheez-Its. Mm-hmm.
Which is, no words. What is it? Another good one-liner? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all?
That's a pretty good one.
It's probably what I should say.
That's almost more of a proverb than a one-liner.
Sometimes there isn't a difference, right?
Yeah, that's true. These look okay.
I would try them.
I will offer. For me, Cheez-Its get a little dense when you want to eat a lot of them. there's.
I've been known to eat a box.
I get dried out pretty quick because there's the density of the. Right? So maybe a little puff of air in between the two layers of the Cheez-Its on the outside. This might be a good experience. I'm a little surprised I'm saying that, but because I'm typically a purist about these things.
For me, one of the reasons why I like the Cheez-Its is, especially at a gas station, is usually the Cheez-It bag is the most filled with chips. It's usually the highest percentage of chip to bag.
Less waste is what
Correct.
you're saying. All right.
If you go to the store and it's the truth. It's facts.
Queen Elizabeth is releasing her own line of royal condiments. Over the past several years, Queen Elizabeth II and company have released beers, wine, 2 different types of gin, and now they have decided to branch out. The royal estate condiments are set to arrive in 2 varieties: tomato sauce and brown sauce. Tomato sauce is basically the Brits' version of ketchup. Brown sauce.
Tomato
sauce. Brown sauce is, they need to not call it that for one, because it sounds very unappetizing. But it's more similar to steak sauce or A1. Do you feel royally inclined to use these condiments, Sam?
I would try them. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way.
I'm not eating anything that they just outright say is brown sauce.
Now, are they allowed to? Now, is Heinz not allowed to sell anymore in England?
I don't know. They've been booted. They've been expatriated. See, here in the States, we got clever and we called it gravy. Brown gravy, which is fine. But if you just call it brown sauce, that doesn't sound very appealing or appetizing to me. But that's just me. All right, where's my NFL schedule for the weekend? We got to run over.
I got you.
Okay. I also got to look. We've got to so we have menu battles.
Oh dear.
Tomorrow, let me get to tomorrow.
Nashville
Where
Hot
I
Chicken
get
against
interested.
Cincinnati Chili.
Nashville Hot Chicken will host Montgomery Inn. So, how do you feel, Sam? How do you feel about the Bengals going to Nashville and playing on the road?
In all seriousness, I'm just happy that they're there because I've finally gotten this opportunity. But in all seriousness, I mean, I think they have a good shot. I think that they have advantages. I mean, Derrick Henry's really good, but the Bengals have Joe Burrow. And you're usually in the playoffs, the team with a better quarterback wins. Usually.
How long has it been since Cincinnati won a playoff game on the road?
Yeah.
Same number of years?
Never.
Never? They've never won one? Okay.
They're one of 2 franchises that have never won a playoff game on the road.
All right, so another historic opportunity for tomorrow. And then that's the early game. The late game is Rice-A-Roni at Cheese Plate or Fondue or something.
Cheese Plate
like
wins.
that. And then who do you have in that one?
Cheese.
You got cheese?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess probably I got cheese. Then on Sunday, you've got Asian Pacific, we'll just call it California cuisine. California cuisine at Tampa Bay, so at Cuban Sandwiches. And then Sunday night, or late Sunday afternoon, we have buffalo wings at Kansas City Barbecue.
I think the Sunday games, could be very good, both games.
Yeah.
Both games.
I'm going to go with, I think, buffalo wings and Kansas City's.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're both very good, but I think there's just something about the momentum of the Bills right now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take Montgomery Inn tomorrow.
There you go.
I'm going to take Fondue, and I'm going to take Cuban Sandwiches. That's who I think advances.
I'll agree, but just to be different, I'll say the Chiefs over the Bills in a tight one.
All right, Miss Buckles, we'll let you think about it a little longer, and you can decide what you want to eat more and talk about it coming up.
That's my deal.
Hang around. You're on In the Know.
As health professionals, we're on your side. We do everything we can to keep your kids happy and healthy so they can do great things. We encourage you to immunize your kids up to age 18 because the facts are clear. Childhood immunizations are a safe and simple way to prevent illness. So be the hero your kids need today so they can be heroes tomorrow. Ask your child's healthcare provider about the benefits of childhood immunization.
All Kentucky driver licensing is moving from circuit clerk offices in every county
to regional offices.
And the new regional offices offer more licensing choices than ever before.
Get a driver's license valid for 4 years.
Or 8 years. Get a real ID.
Or a standard license.
Renew online
or in person.
You can even visit any regional office you'd like.
It's next level licensing. Learn more at drive.ky.gov.
Down, set, 8, 1, 1, 8, 1, 1.
The best football teams always get the call right, and you need to make the right call before you excavate. If you don't and you damage a natural gas line, the Kentucky Public Service Commission will investigate, and you could be fined up to $1,250. So make the right call. Put safety first. Call 811 before you dig.
Touchdown! Oh my goodness!
This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
The federal government provides $150 billion a year to make higher education possible for anyone. Completing the free application for federal student aid, known as the FAFSA, is the first step to getting your share. But an estimated $40 million in financial aid is left on the table each year by Kentucky students. Don't let that happen to you.
Fill out the new and improved FAFSA today. Visit knowhowtogoky.org and join the conversation on Twitter, #KnowHowToPayKY. This message is brought to you by the Pritchard Committee Student Voice Team and the Council on Post-Secondary Education.
Are you ready to take your career to the next level? Great Southern Wood, makers of Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine, located in Millwood, is now hiring for several positions including forklift operators and general laborers. Great Southern offers great benefits including competitive pay, paid holidays and vacation, medical, dental, and vision insurance, and 401k with company match. Apply in person today at 164 Post Millwood Road. Great Southern Wood Preserving is a drug-free workplace and an equal opportunity employer.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. The clouds and flurries decrease as we head into the afternoon hours. Temperatures today struggling to warm up, only ending up into the mid to upper 20s for this afternoon. Now for tonight, beneath clear skies, our temperatures are going to plummet into the teens and single digits. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Maybe we can talk all night, but that ain't getting us nowhere. I told you everything I possibly can.
Did you know if your car was able to drive vertically, you would reach outer space in an hour?
Driving how fast?
Well, probably 55 miles is probably out of space, wouldn't you think?
I was going to say, I've seen how some people drive it and they take more or less time.
I could probably be there in about half an hour.
Yeah.
What my guess would be. So lots of entertainment content. Here's breaking news. Comedian Louis Anderson has passed at age 68. So woke up to hearing about Meatloaf, and now just learning just during the break there that Louis Anderson confirmed gone on in at age 68. Has a very unique style of comedy. He was in that show. What was it? Buckets? Is that the show that he was? Yeah, I think he was most recently in that. I think it was a Netflix show, or maybe it was an Amazon Prime show called Buckets. But Louis Anderson, Adele fans, some of them are very mad today. Adele went live yesterday afternoon on her socials, tearfully to apologize and announce that she's having to delay her residency in Las Vegas, partly due to delivery schedules being missed and to half of her team. She said 50% of her team have COVID, and they call it unavoidable. I think I completely understand. However, if I had made arrangements to go this weekend, her opening show is supposed to be today, supposed to be tonight at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. If we had taken the time to, I'm not worried about the tickets because that will be refunded or they'll be honored at a later date. But we would have already used our airfare and we would have already been on site, most likely, by the time that late yesterday you decided to announce the inevitable. So I think you knew on Monday this probably isn't going to happen. Or you certainly knew Wednesday or Tuesday. I don't think anyone can be critical that these things are happening. This is the world we live in. But for you to wait until really the 11th hour and say, the show's not ready, we're not going to be able to go, I think is poor form.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm still kind of heartbroken. I tried. I failed.
I see. I got what you're saying. Yeah.
So I was I think the show that I almost got tickets to was the last Saturday in February. So
yeah.
But it didn't happen.
I would imagine what they will do is they'll take the number of shows they miss and they'll tack them onto the end because they can't slide everything.
Maybe I do know somebody that might be in Vegas on that time after they be adding on to the end, right?
Well, we had that conversation when I announced it at home last night.
They're only like $4,000 a ticket.
But I told her, I said, it's still sold out. No matter, like, all the tickets are accounted for no matter when they have the shows, so it doesn't really matter.
Only like
that
$4,000 a ticket.
Yeah, it's not not this year.
Not any year.
Well, yeah, probably not for $4,000, but it'd just be one of those things. And new at the movie theater.
You just need to find somebody that had tickets that might not be able to go
this weekend. Absolutely. Redeeming is new in the cinema. Redeeming Love, that's the name. Redeeming Love is a PG-13 history romance movie starring Abigail Cowan. Oh, yeah, her. Tom Lewis. Oh, yeah, him. And Famke Janssen. Some household names right there. It's a who's who of actors. The King's Daughter, Pierce Brosnan and William Hurt. Two old fogies that I know.
How old is Pierce Brosnan?
I know Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan is probably almost 70.
I would have thought he was older than that.
You can look it up, but I would guess it's pretty close, give or take. I doubt that he's fairly squarely in his 60s, and I don't think he's too far into his 70s, but could be.
68.
68. There you go. William Hurt. So I know both those old guys. Then PG drama adventure called The Tiger Rising. Dennis Quaid, Catherine McPhee, and Queen Latifah.
I know them.
That's across a broad demographic spectrum. I mean, you got Queen Latifah, who's my age. You got Dennis Quaid, who's older. You got Catherine McPhee, who's somewhere between your two ages. Would be. None of those sound very appealing to me.
Is that a movie that Alea would be interested in? Is that a Disney or?
No, probably not quite ready for PG. Not that she hasn't seen some PGs, but probably.
Yeah, see, I didn't know it was you said it was animated, didn't it? Or no?
No, it's a PG drama adventure. When a 12-year-old discovers a caged tiger in the woods, all right, you've got her so far, his life changes in unexpected ways with the help of a mysterious maid. Nope, we're out on mysterious maids. Our maids can't be mysterious. They have to be completely open and forthright.
What about old maids?
Well, I mean, they can't help it. And the stubborn new girl in school he navigates through wondrous adventures. Well, okay. Sounds
Midnight
good.
showing.
Martha Stewart. We watched an episode of New Amsterdam last night about a guy who had the worst luck in the world. Like every catastrophe that could happen to him had happened to him, including being struck by lightning. Martha Stewart says she's been struck by lightning 3 times. Martha Stewart says, "I just attract electricity."
Do you buy that?
I don't know that I.
So. This is weird, but I actually have a cousin that was hit or struck by lightning.
Maybe once.
Once?
Yeah, well, that's not like the craziest thing in the world, but 3 times.
Or even 2.
You know what I would do? If I were struck by lightning 1 time, I would never leave that spot ever again because we know it won't strike twice in the same location unless it's a radio tower.
Mm-hmm.
Because that can happen. All right, what about the news that they're rebooting A Christmas Story? Yes, no, maybe?
I'm out.
You already know my feelings.
Somewhat of an open mind. Well, it is a sequel in the sense that grown Ralphie comes back in the 1970s to give his children, Uncle Randy and is there, and all. Peter Billingsley is involved.
I mean, will I watch it? Yes. Do I
Yeah.
like it? Not necessarily.
Yeah,
You know
it's
me.
just- yeah.
I leave well enough alone.
There's a very small margin for success in this with me. I think there's a lot more risk of the people going meh than going, yeah, that was great. Says the person who won't watch Coming to America 2 for fear of being really disappointed. So I don't know. So there you go. All right. Got to get to a break. We'll come back and finish it up for the week here on In the Know.
Wives, do you want your husband to be a success? Then it's important for you to understand the crucial role you play. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. It's true that men often find their identity through achievement, but a wife can make or break the confidence her husband needs to succeed. Authors Bill and Pam Farrell can tell you exactly what it means. Early in their marriage, a mentor advised Pam never to embarrass her husband in public. Stand by your man, the older woman said. Be his biggest cheerleader. At the time, Pam scoffed at the idea, but it wasn't long before she learned the influence she had in building his confidence. She and Bill were dancing at a party when Bill suddenly backed away. I ripped my pants, he said discreetly. Since Pam could easily laugh at her own shortcomings, she shouted to everyone in the room, "Look, Bill ripped his pants." Everyone laughed except Bill. Not only that, but at speaking engagements later that week, Bill's usually strong presence seemed timid and insecure. It was then that Pam understood her mentor's advice. If a man's biggest fan isn't his wife, it can strip him of his confidence with others. Ladies, you possess more influence with your husband than you know. You can help his confidence soar, or you can shackle him with self-doubt. So stand by your man and cheer him on. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
Live right now, the free Married in 12 Months or Less 5-day challenge at lovestories.com, featuring creator, author, and matchmaker Jackie Dorman. Jackie's teachings have helped thousands of women just like you get out of the waiting room and step into the love story that God has written for them.
Are you wondering if this year you'll still be asking why it seems so easy for other people to find love but so hard for me? If you're feeling the pain of being alone and are tired of everyone around you finding their soulmates and leaving you behind, then get ready to remove the barriers to finding the marriage of your dreams and start believing it's possible for you. Hi, I'm Jackie Dorman. Join me in my Married in 12 Months challenge, where I'll teach you why now is your time to find love, what are the lies that are holding you back, and the tools you need to become a bride.
Register at lovestories.com. That's lovestories.com. Pick up Jackie's book, Married in 12 Months or Less, wherever books are sold.
Start your new year with a new career. Nucor Steel Brandenburg is currently accepting a limited number of applications for entry-level production careers at their new steel mill in Meade County, Kentucky. Nucor offers competitive pay and benefits with an average first-year salary of $72,000 per year. No experience in the steel industry or manufacturing is required. Apply now at meadjobs.nucor.com. That's meadjobs.nucor.com. The time is now to start your new career.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. What is your absolute favorite store?
Oh, gosh.
What is your
Is
absolute
Amazon a store?
favorite store? I guess it's a superstore. I think the spirit of the question probably requires
I was
brick
gonna say,
and
'cause I
mortar.
can get whatever I want there.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay, so do I have to walk in?
It requires brick and mortar. It would be, I guess would be my only thing. It probably it can have an online store, but I think It's a store. Think of it, a store that you walk into that defines you. Like, this is a place where I would just love shopping. So while you all give it some thought, I am curious. I've never been to one of these, but I'm very curious about this concept of Buc-ee's.
I have seen those, yes.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen one.
Super curious, yeah.
But so apparently it's truck stop stop
steroids.
to the nth degree infinity. And so because
it's like one step short of the evil empire.
Jason
as far as
don't do that, Sam. I was really warming up to this idea of Buc-ee's. You're going to ruin it before I ever get to go one. In construct, in gargantuan nature, perhaps.
Everything that you might need.
But completely not in theming. Because Jason Thomas is one of my few friends that still call me Bucky, I'm thinking, would I be treated like royalty at Buc-ee's? Like,
well, I'm not treated as royalty at my club. If you're asking,
because you don't buy wholesale, you buy retail.
They won't even let me in.
Yeah, well, they even make you pay. I got you. No free card for you.
I do kind of like. I've only been a few times because there isn't one locally, but Costco.
Okay, gotcha.
Because it's kind of like that where you can go in and you can get whatever you need.
Right. I'm very curious. They will be coming to Kentucky. Well, matter of fact, there's going to be one.
Right?
Yeah, Smiths Grove, and I think one over in Richmond, that area. They're growing up from the South, but I'm just intrigued.
Powering through.
It sounds like the type of thing where I used to love going to Stuckey's when I was a kid. The old roadside stops were Stuckey's stores, and they had really kitschy type of campy things that you didn't find in your average convenience store. And so I'm thinking
there's a new convenience store in E-Town near the interchange.
I see what you're
that we stopped in during one of our trips to LaRue County, and it was very nice.
Okay, so there's that level of truck stop now.
Bigger.
Like, this is going to go... This is going to be Spinal Tap, turn it up to 11.
Will this be one of those things that you'll take a Saturday afternoon trip down, or will it be only one of those things that when you drive past?
I'll probably just be a drive paster. But then I have to wonder, do I take a camper? Like, should I take a camper to Buc-ee's and leave it in the parking lot so that if I get tired and I want to take... But I've not seen it all, so I'm going to go take a nap and then go back in and, like, can I make a whole day of it? I don't know. Can you tailgate at Buc-ee's is my question.
I think you could tailgate anywhere.
I guess you're right. If you got a tailgate, just add tailgate. On television tonight, That's My Jam on NBC. Tomorrow night, Will Forte is the host of Saturday Night Live, and we're playing one of the songs. Måneskin, not Manskin. Måneskin is the name of the musical guest.
Oh.
The other day I said, what's Manskin? So this is Måneskin. Nobody series premiere on HBO tomorrow night. Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Curtis Stone, Haley Joel Osment, and Tatiana Ali. The Walking Dead Origins, Season 1 premiere on AMC, if you're so inclined.
There you go.
Sam, can I see the football playoff again?
Oh, yes. Well, then, while I'm doing that, Cougars doubleheader on the road at Whitesville tonight.
Right, and you can watch that across the channels of K105 Digital Productions. Okay, Miss Buckles, would you rather Montgomery Inn win or Nashville Hot Chicken?
Montgomery Inn.
Okay, so you want the barbecue.
There you go.
All right, would you rather Kansas City Barbecue defeat Buffalo Wings or Buffalo Wings defeat Kansas City Barbecue?
Not on board with the Buffalo Wings.
Okay, because you had those last weekend.
Yes.
Got it.
Well,
okay, cheese plate or fondue or rice-a-roni?
Fondue.
Okay, and would you rather have Cuban sandwiches or California cuisine?
Oh, Cuban sandwiches.
And then that salad, right? That you're just going to refer to it as that salad?
It's Columbia.
Columbia. Oh,
Columbia.
I just liked referring to it as that salad.
Yeah, it just came to me. It was like Columbia salad. That's what it is. Today's highlight in history, this date in 2010, a bitterly divided U.S. Supreme Court in Citizens United versus the Federal Elections Commission vastly increased the power of big business and labor unions to influence government decisions by freeing them to spend millions directly to sway elections for president and Congress. Okay. King Louis XVI was condemned for treason and executed on the guillotine, this date in 1793. President Carter pardoned all Vietnam War draft evaders, this date in 77. Hillary Clinton was confirmed as Secretary of State, this date in 2009. Benghazi to you. Birthdays today, Jack Nicklaus is 82, Placido Domingo is 81. Sam, sing a Placido Domingo number real quick. Can you?
Mm-hmm. That's probably more of a Yukon Cornelius. I feel like he could probably pull off. He probably knows who that is.
I wonder if he knows any Placido Domingo songs.
Ask him on Tuesday. Do we get to see him Tuesday? Maybe.
I think so. Billy Ocean is 72 today. Gina Davis is 66.
I don't know who that is.
Really?
From A League of Their Own.
Oh, okay. Okay, now I know. Thank you.
Among other things, but yeah.
That would be the one that I would probably recognize.
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon is 59 today. Gone but not forgotten. Ethan Allen. The one that was in the Revolutionary War, not the one that makes furniture.
You knew where my mind went.
Stonewall Jackson in 1824. Christian Dior in 1905. Telly Savalas in 1922. Who loves you, baby? Mm-hmm. Let's go to chart toppers. 1960 was the year. Johnny Preston is number one.
On the bank
with Running Bear.
the river stood Running Bear. Young
Catchy.
Indian brave on the other.
Pardon me?
I said it's catchy. I mean, it's not the worst one we've had.
No, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it had a nice little beat underneath it.
1969. Young Holt Unlimited with Soulful Strut. You can't hear this without wanting to strut. Just imagine, on your way to the store, get out of your car, walk in the parking lot.
This what you're going to be playing in your way to Buc-ee's the first time?
Mm-hmm. That's going to be my play-in music at Buc-ee's. I'm going to have like a cane, be kind of like do a little high stepping. I've been teaching Alea how to high step. Do a little high stepping, getting her ready for marching band. 1978, Rod Stewart, number one.
That were so lyrical. I really must confess right here, the attraction was purely physical.
I'm sure both you all know that's from the album Some Guys Have All the Love.
I can see that.
I knew you could have recalled it even without the hint.
No, of course.
1987.
Did you think
Billy Vera and the Beaters.
I would say at this moment?
I always love when this song comes up on chart toppers. Because what a novelty it was.
You just don't love
So for you kids that don't know, it's because of a single episode of Family Ties, this song went to number one. No one had heard of this song until it was featured in Family Ties. Alex P. Keaton was involved in a love story.
I like how TV can do that.
You know, I heard it earlier this week on KSR talking about in the 80s, television shows had huge ratings because there were only 4 channels and there was only so much to do, and so people were gathered around. Now, you know, if 2 or 3 million people watch a show, you know, well, that's considered a hit. But then, you know, there were 30 and 40 million people tuned in at the same time. Talk about shared experience for Americans.
We had the highlight in history earlier this week of the show that I Love Lucy gave birth on. And I think it read 75.1% of TVs that night were tuned into that.
Yeah, yeah. And then in Being the Ricardos, there's even a reference when they talk about how there were utility systems that knew when they took a commercial break because of the everybody went to the bathroom at the same time. And so it's just remarkable on how that happens. But we're so fractionalized on the things that we are entertained by now, doing different things, that
We've
medium...
all got watch lists that are miles long.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same power, if you will. Missing Everything But the Girl in 96, 1-2 Step Sierra in 05, and Timber, Pitbull, and Kesha, number one, 8 years ago today. So there you go. MB's Proloism for today, running behind. Sorry, need to get out of here. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here on Monday for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,